Yo. Welcome back to Bledsoe Manor.
Is that what we're calling it?
Well, the art kind of has that haunted house, like, mansion vibe, so I figured it'd be like Bledsoe Manor.
If you ever had a movie, would it be called Bledsoe Manor?
It'd be the Bledsoe Files. Yeah, it'd be called the Bledsoe Files. No, but seriously, thank you for tuning in, everybody. We really appreciate you sticking with us. This has been a really awesome journey. We're about 45 days out, about a little less than 2 months from launching our first episode, and I really appreciate the positive feedback. And do you have anything to say about that, Nick?
We really appreciate all your interaction, honestly. Like, we love interacting with you guys on Twitter. We love, constructive suggestions. We love it all. We love making this product for you guys and for ourselves. We have a ton of fun with it. And yeah, the engagement has been really cool so far. We have a lot of big plans in the works for the future. So yeah, exciting stuff coming up.
At the end of the day, I just, after re-listening to some of our previous episodes, I really love our conversations. And for the listener, I just wanted to clue you into kind of what our idea for this podcast really is, because we haven't really come out and said what that is. Again, Nick and I have been best friends since we were 11 and 12 years old. And ultimately, Nick approached me. Actually, Alex approached me 3 years ago and said, bro, you should make a podcast about your family.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. We have this whole Hollywood thing. We were tied up in that. We had a 1.5 year option agreement to where we couldn't speak publicly. And then last year, or it could have been the year before, Nick came to me and he's like, Ryan, you really need to make a podcast. And it has just spiraled into this thing where the three of us have just had a blast, just hitting record and just we go with it.
Yeah, we just roll with it. It's most of it, well, a lot of it's off the top of the head.
90% of it.
we definitely, we have lots of plans coming up. So.
I just wanted to kind of like, clearly say that, like, although we're having fun, at the end of the day, this is very real stuff. And I guess the challenge is figuring out how to take some of these very profound conversations and a lot of the traumas that I've been through and make them entertaining for an audience of people.
Yeah, for sure. Which, that's always going to be challenging because these things, as you experience them throughout your life, were not necessarily the most fun always. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You weren't always having fun, but we're taking it and kind of turning it into a fun, informative thing where, we're making light of it. We're not running away from it. We're addressing it head on. And I think it's been pretty cathartic.
It's very cathartic. And actually, that's why I wanted to address this, is because I just wanted to sincerely thank each and every listener who has left a like or a comment or even a constructive criticism and has given us ideas and things of that nature. At the end of the day, this is very real stuff that has happened to me since I was a child. It was very hard. And this podcast has been one of the most profoundly positive transformations I've had in my personal life. And it's all thanks to you guys just being so kind and listening and enjoying it. And, I wanted to thank you guys for that and kind of just like reset for a second.
Yeah. So thank you all so much. It's been a fun ride so far. And we're only like 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah,
in.
I guess this is episode 7.
Yeah.
So, you want to get into what we had planned for this episode?
I am so excited for this episode. We have an exciting new concept for you guys.
Okay. So, how do we get into this? So we have a what if jar here. How do you?
Yeah. So I think the idea was, we want to have more kind of brain scratchy, like pondering type conversations on this show where we take an out of the box idea or, just any kind of sort of deep thinking sort of topic or idea. We put it in a jar. And most of those things are framed as like a what if this thing is real? What if that thing is real? Or what if whatever, just any kind of out of the box ideas.
The funny thing about that is my fiance, Jennifer, and I were sitting on the beach last weekend and we were looking up at the stars, and it was because I live at the beach in North Carolina. And anyway, so we were sitting on the beach Friday night, like midnight, just looking at the stars. And I started to ponder these really weird questions like, what if the stars were realms or something? And Jenny said, Ryan, you should do a series called What If, where you ponder these deep questions and just like you and Nick just hash out of the box ideas together and kind of like a think tank. And it spiraled over the weekend to a what if jar.
It's an amazing idea. I mean, it really is. And I think the most exciting part about this what if jar is that we want our listeners to be involved.
Yes. So we are going to put out a video. We did make a TikTok. I'm kind of using the TikTok as like a digital library so that I can make little short clips and skits, and we'll have somewhere where they're saved, kind of like cloud storage.
Yeah.
And we're going to cross post them to Twitter and Instagram and things like that. Maybe Twitch stream.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I think Twitch streaming would be sick.
Yeah.
But
we've been having a ton of fun making this content, and I think it's just inspired us to make more content. It's been so much fun.
Are we going to talk about the big announcement on Saturday?
If you want to.
Twiceborn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for the first cat's time, out of the bag.
Yeah, for the first time in many years, me and Ryan are going to start playing around with making music again.
Yeah. So kind of a cool concept. The name Twiceborn is like it's an homage to Dionysus,
which is my favorite Greek god. He's a very important Greek god for many reasons. He kind of gets a weird bad rap as just being like this like drunken idiot.
No, but he's not. Actually, So the Rosicrucians teach about Dionysus, and I'd like to do, maybe we could do a whole podcast episode on Dionysus, but it's just a really cool concept. And the music, I don't know. It's something we've always wanted to do. We've always just wanted to create content together. And this whole UFO thing has just springboarded us into kind of living out our dream.
Yeah, yeah. So we got a lot of plans for you guys, but this what if jar is going to be one of the first things that we can do interactively with you guys.
Yeah. So for today's episode, we came up with all the what if questions. And
our team, yeah. So my wife Casey and Ryan's fiance Jenny, Ryan and myself, Alex, we all submitted and put ideas into this jar. And so for today's episode, the entire episode is going to be what if. We're going to be pulling from this jar, and we're going to be talking about some of these cool topics. Now, going forward in the future, I think we're going to have it more as like a thing that we do in episodes,
like either the beginning or end.
Yeah, like it's
like a little segment.
Exactly, like a small 10 to 15 minute segment that will, if we have nothing else to talk about or something, we'll say, hey, let's pull out of the jar.
And I think you did just say this, but I thought, why not repeat it? Going forward, we are going to try to open it up to where you guys can submit the questions. So anyway, let's do it. Let's just do it.
Let's get into it.
We can only talk about it so long.
Let's get into it.
I'm
so excited.
These are totally random.
Hey, this is a historic moment. This is a historic moment where we're going to pull the first what if out of the jar.
And I want you guys to understand these are totally random. We all wrote our own questions together and didn't tell everybody else in our team what the questions are. So I don't know.
By the way, I just want to say our girls are sitting right here in the room with us, and they're both so excited because they want their what ifs answered.
So
all right, we got the first one. Let's do it.
First what if question. What if the gods from all mythologies are the same? See, that's a really cool question. Was that yours?
That was mine.
That was yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me say, I just want to preface this.
So why don't you take the lead on that?
Okay, I would love to. So I've always been interested in mythology. Have I ever mentioned on this podcast that I'm Greek?
Yeah, 6%.
Hey. Yeah, I am. I'm very proud of my tiny little percentage of Greek heritage. So, as a kid, I mean, I think I read. In school, you were made to read that mythology book. You remember that?
Yeah.
So we were like 12 or 13 or something like that,
dude.
and we read that in school. And I think that was the first introduction to me, rather than like Hercules,
dude,
what I mean?
Me too.
Really?
Miss Durden's class in the 7th grade.
Miss Durden. Did I
Grace
have
Creek
Miss
Middle,
Durden?
Dude.
I don't remember.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but other than like Hercules or whatever other like kid-friendly representations of mythology there are out there, that book Mythology was my first big introduction into it, and I was like, wait a minute, like Greek history is so
super cool.
And then it just spiraled from there, man. I mean, I did tons of internet research on the Greek gods and their different like archetypes and roles, and then I started to look into the next one was Norse mythology.
Oh yeah, dude.
Norse mythology. And when you start to look into them, you see all these parallels.
Yeah. You see parallels, like for example, the Romans and the Greeks are basically the same story, but they'll call like Zeus Jupiter, for example.
Yeah, I would say those are like the Roman and Greek are probably
it's basically the same thing.
They're like the most similar.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it, like...
And Greek is very similar to Egypt, believe it or not.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. There's so many parallels. But for instance, like, look at like Zeus, right? Zeus is like the He's like the king of Olympus. He's like the kind of the god of gods. You know what I mean? It's like Odin.
Yeah. Bro, I named my cat Odin because I played God of War 4 and loved it so much. It was sick, man.
By the way, that is, it may or may not, God of War, the 2019 one, it may or may not be my favorite game of all time, but it is, I believe, like one of the very best games
do you
ever
remember
made.
my bachelor party last year when we all stayed up really late arguing if Diablo 2 or God of War was better?
Yeah. Yeah.
My cousin Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my cousin Warren.
He's a die-hard Diablo 2
Well, bro,
fan.
when I was 10 years old, he was like making me play Diablo 2 and stuff and like it was really cool, but then I grew up just not being into that kind of game. He still contends to this day that Diablo 2 is the best game of all time. Ironically, they're coming out with the remastered. Yeah, and we're going to play it.
Yeah.
I can't wait
They're
to play
about to
Diablo
remake
2.
it. Yeah.
Like God of War's still better though.
For sure.
The new one.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's been a running joke that like anytime we suggest anything to Warren, it could be a movie, it could be a TV show, it could be anything, and he'll say Diablo 2 is better.
Well, after my bachelor party, it literally devolved to him saying, "What the Diablo 2?"
Yeah.
Like it is now like a verb.
It is a verb.
It's a verb. It's anyway. It's yeah.
But the parallels. So I don't know if we mentioned on a previous episode. It's funny that we were talking about Dionysus and Twiceborn.
You know what Dionysus is basically the Greek Jesus, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess so.
He is.
Yeah, because
dude, Jesus turned water to wine. That was his first miracle, bro.
Boo,
That's
dude,
true.
That's incredible. That's so incredible. That's literally like, we said Dionysus.
No, but bro, like the Rosicrucians like teach that.
Yeah.
Like the Orphic mystery systems.
Yeah, there's a whole religion called
Osiris is Egyptian Jesus.
And they're all kind of the same. They have this like dying and rebirthing thing where they die and then they're reborn like more powerful or in a different form.
Yep, they go to the underworld like Jesus went to the underworld. Dionysus, didn't he go to the underworld? Or like Orpheus had to descend to the underworld.
Orpheus did. Yeah.
And he was reborn from the ashes of Titans. Osiris is the Egyptian Jesus. Krishna is the Hindu Jesus.
Yeah.
Now people are going to be like, why is it got to be compared to Jesus? I actually do that for a reason.
It's just the most popular.
Because Jesus is a mythology.
Yeah.
Jesus is the modern myth.
Yeah.
But I believe it's an archetype that holds true since ancient times. It's not like dude, Jacob got us on Neville Goddard. At least he got me on Neville Goddard. The concept that the story of Jesus is not literal. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
That we are all fractal parts of that divine force, whatever. And basically, like our life here is that myth being played out on an individual scale.
I love that.
Every one of us are living that myth in some fashion as we reincarnate over many lives.
How insanely like thought-provoking is that?
Yeah, it's deep.
That'll literally just make
you remember the
wonder.
last episode of the Midnight Gospel when Clancy was like getting into meditation and he was talking about the energy in his hands and he said, "Am I Jesus?" No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think that's some really esoteric stuff. Like everybody on an individual level resonates with that myth because it's the journey of our soul. Our soul is on the hero's journey through reincarnations.
Yes, absolutely.
How did we get here? We were talking about all the gods being the same.
Well, I mean, that's what it's about.
It's
like,
all archetypes.
Dionysus, Osiris. Who are some of the other dying and rebirthing gods? I mean, there's so many.
I have to think about it. Mithra?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but even like we said, Zeus and Odin, like there's always like a water god that's like the god of the sea.
Yeah.
And they all, it's not just that they kind of sort of approximate the same thing. Like most of them have the same traits. They have the same, a lot of them have the same like history and mythology behind them. Like, so I think the thing we're pondering here is, it is what if they are all kind of like repeating the same sort of archetypes for these gods, but it also is like, why are the same? It's like roughly 10 to 15 gods. There's usually like 10 or 15 main gods in each mythology, and they all kind of fit into these same roles and archetypes throughout thousands of years of history. Why?
My role is that my theory is that there's one universal truth. We talked about this in episode 1. The Prissa Theologia, like the concept that there is a secret doctrine that is inherently present in all religions. And I believe that throughout the ancient past, different cultures have reached the point of like their philosophical spiritual evolution where they were picking up on the mythological archetypes of nature. And that's what all these different stories are telling. But I believe if you like boil it down, like Age of Aquarius, forget all the ancient myths, we talk about what reality really is. It's the concept that we're all fractal pieces of the Godhead. We're all just reincarnating. We're all just trying to realize that we are reincarnating, and we're not just like, you know, spinning on a ball through an infinite vacuum with no spiritual meaning. Like there's something more to what this life is.
Absolutely.
And again, I'm going to bring it just back to the lady because it's relevant. The lady told my father that like the journey of the soul is about realizing that there is something intelligent and beautiful behind the creation of our lives, of this whole realm, whatever we're in. It's not meaningless.
Luminous beings are we.
Yeah, luminous beings are we. Yoda. He's a trickster. He's a green man.
Yes, he is. Okay.
He's also a sage archetype.
I think we successfully pondered that idea.
and that's just kind of a taste.
Oh, well, you know, one thing I did want to say about that before we move on is that, you know, we've mentioned in previous episodes that you kind of can get, we use the term tuned in. Mm-hmm. You can kind of get tuned in to these like shared beliefs, these like things floating around in the, you know, the collective consciousness. And that would explain, like you said, that would explain why throughout all of history, hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years, there's all these
it's the same story over and over.
Themselves
it's the
over
same
and over.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so cool.
Man, where was I going to go with? Oh, morphic resonance. There's a real concept called morphic resonance, which, like, for example, dude, let's say you have a rat in China and like there's this laboratory in China and they have this complex maze that they've built and they put the rat through the maze and it like successfully completes the maze.
Right.
Rats all over the world are going to start popping up with the ability to solve that puzzle because it
what
goes
do you mean without being around each other or seeing them do it?
Yes, it's called morphic resonance because we really have a shared collective consciousness. Like there was a monkey somewhere.
Oh my God, that's like proof right there.
Exactly, dude. Like
oh my God.
There's science that is like fringe, so to speak, that really covers these grounds. Like a lot of the people I met in the CIA, a lot of them were involved with like Project Stargate, very fringe science, bro. Like quantum entanglement type stuff, dude. There's some weird science that definitely correlates with the idea that there is a spiritual reality that permeates ours. All
right. Next what if topic. I'm going to pull this.
I just wanted to say this real quick before we do the question.
Okay.
I think the ultimate premise of this jar is like with the experiences that I've had growing up, with the beings of light, with the government coming into my life, and some of the weird things I've lived and seen and experienced, I've developed some pretty fringe beliefs. And I guess the problem I've come across in my life is like, how do I convey them to people in a way that's articulate without me having to like die on a hill? So I think what if questions is like, what if, bro?
Yeah.
What if? So
go
ahead.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
So we're going to pull the next one. All right, I'm doing this one. Ready? Oh, what if you had the Philosopher's Stone? That's such a good one.
But who wrote that one? Was that Casey?
I think so.
Okay, so then here's how I would address the question. Are we talking about like the real?
Yes.
Oh, what if Ryan had the Philosopher's Stone?
Yes.
What if we had it?
Okay, we can maybe each give an answer.
Okay. Well, see, here's my thing. Why don't you go first?
Well, let's preface it by explaining what the Philosopher's Stone is for anybody who may not know.
Okay, so the real Philosopher's Stone is a metaphor. Right. And it's a metaphor that's been passed down through secret societies for literally hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's the concept that through basically high levels of meditation and exploring consciousness, you can come to the knowledge, or the gnosis, so to speak. That's the Greek word for like the secret knowing. You can come to the knowing that through your mindset, you can change your life. You can change your reality as you know it. This can be heaven or this can be hell. I really believe this is the afterlife. Like we're reincarnating over and over and over. And like, if you live a really bad life now, you're going to reincarnate in the next life, and you're going to have to deal with the choices you made in the previous life.
That's another thing we've mentioned before, is the momentum of your soul.
Yes.
Like your soul is on a path, and it's constantly building momentum. It's just another way of saying karma. Momentum is just another way of saying karma.
Yeah, bro. Well, think about this, man. Like karma, Newton's third law, dude. Like you punch the wall, it's going to punch back. It's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
So I believe if you put out good energy, there's going to be an equal and opposite return, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's like an equivalent exchange. Like Full Metal Alchemist. And a
Philosopher's Stone.
That's the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the real Philosopher's Stone is the concept that like this is a matrix. This is a consciousness field that we've manifested in just to be on a journey for our soul. And you can decide if this is heaven or hell. You could have a negative, mopey mindset and you could live a life of misery and everyone's out to get me. Or you could transmute that, which is an alchemical term, transmutation. The real transmutation is I'm going to choose to live a positive life. I'm going to make everything a positive. I'm going to take my step forward instead of backward, and that's what the real Philosopher's Stone is.
It could be argued that in the Matrix, the Oracle telling Neo there is no spoon, that was her giving him the Philosopher's Stone. Like, hey, this ain't real.
Exactly.
She's telling him like, it's not real. You can do whatever you want.
Once you know there's no spoon, you can bend the spoon.
You can bend the spoon.
Yeah. Once you know that, like, you don't have to be a victim to your circumstances. You can make a change. Like Shia LaBeouf said, if you just do it. But man, do it. That's funny and everything, but what is Nike's logo?
Just do it.
Nike's the goddess of victory.
Oh, you did not just hit me with that.
The Greek goddess of victory.
Good
no, it's true. It's all archetypes. Awesome. It's all logos. It's all symbology. Remember, the people at the top, they know this occult knowledge. It's Illuminati, bro. Come on, everybody knows the Illuminati's real. Like, I feel like at this point, if you're going to argue like they don't have at least some sort of advanced knowledge to make these extreme billion-dollar corporations, like, brush up a little bit.
In one form or another, it's real. It's not necessarily.
There's a quote from J.P. Morgan. I think it's J.P. Morgan. It's like, I don't know the quote off the top of my head. I'm going to butcher this. And unfortunately, Alex is going to be here with us today to look up the quote. So, like, please look up the quote and verify the accuracy. Oh, Casey, are you going to look it up? J.P. Morgan in Astrology. It's a really good quote.
And while we're looking that up, I'm going to give my answer for what I would do with the Philosopher's Stone. Okay. So if we're functioning off of the Philosopher's Stone being kind of the power to make reality whatever you want it to be, I don't know, this might sound like a silly cop-out answer or something, but I know, it sounds so cheesy, but I truly think I would use that power to influence the world in a positive way, just to bring more love and less hate into the world. I just think we have way too much hate in the world, and I just wish people would slow down and love each other.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, it is true. I mean, that's just, I have a sensitive soul. I believe I have a sensitive soul when, and it's something I can't handle is seeing, fear and hate and all these negative low vibration type emotions and things that go on in the world, people being taken advantage of and people taking advantage of people for their own benefit and all this horrible, I would use it to make the world a better place.
I certainly would too, dude.
That's my Miss Bledsoe Said So pageant answer.
Do you mind if I read the quote?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Nick's wife Casey found the quote. Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. Ooh. So like supposedly that's a quote from J.P. Morgan.
Wow.
I would love if you guys out in the audience would like look that up and verify the legitimacy of that. That'd be kind of cool if people were on that and we could figure out as a community, like, because I've heard that might not be a legit quote. It might be misinformation.
Okay.
I don't know. I would like to find out.
Help us out,
I would like to find out if that's a real quote.
Cool.
But it's the concept that like the ultra rich, the ultra elite have access to this occult knowledge that we don't. Bro, Ronald Reagan had an astrologer.
Really?
Yes,
like dude. A personal astrologer?
Yes, a court astrologer. You know who else had a personal astrologer?
Who?
Queen Elizabeth. I can't remember which one, but it was in like the 1700s. She had a private court astrologer named John Dee. Dude, we could do an entire episode on John Dee. Audience, Google John Dee. The last name is Dee, and Edward Kelly. This is some really cool stuff. The 007 actually comes from John Dee. That was his secret.
Oh, we should do an episode on it then. That sounds cool.
We should do an episode on John Dee. But anyway, so 007 comes from that.
Nice.
What's the guy that wrote James Bond? Ian Fleming?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it Ian Fleming maybe?
No clue.
Well, I don't remember the name, but like he definitely was getting that from John Dee, the whole 007 thing. And basically awesome. he was the court astrologer for Queen Elizabeth, and Edward Kelly was like a psychic or something. We'll do some research. Yes.
That is so cool. Yeah,
Dude,
we need to do that.
And they like scried into like bowls of water, I think, or however they do these scrying techniques. And they communicated with angels, and they came up with the Enochian tablets. Like, it's some weird stuff, dude.
We'll have to go.
Yeah.
I need your answer, sir. I need your answer. What would you do with the Philosopher's Stone? What if Ryan Bledsoe had the Philosopher's Stone? You're never going to be able to top my answer.
If I
World peace.
No. If I had the Philosopher's Stone, I would probably that's a hard one. Do you want a pageant answer or like my honest answer?
I want your honest answer.
Okay, if I had a Philosopher's Stone, like if we're talking like a symbol, not the real one that I believe it is, but like in TV and stuff, I would probably force like a mass sighting event of the phenomenon.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I would probably bring them down.
So you would use the Philosopher's Stone to bring light to the phenomenon.
I would do that because, again, like I said in the last episode, I believe that if the world at large knew the truth about UFOs and other life out there, that it's not just what they're telling us on TV, it's not just what they're saying in the news, it's not just what all these like spies are walking around talking about.
Yeah.
But it's really something more mystical. It's something more endearing and special. Like these beings are more like angels. They're more like angels. People don't like that word. They're going to disassociate with the cultural relevance of it, whatever. And your head, understand that this is a linguistic matrix, and I can say the word angel, and you can think of it as fairy. Like, whatever, who cares?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, like you can think of it as genie. I don't care.
Right.
But they're more like that.
That might be the only way you could do like a mass revealing without causing like panic and chaos around the world.
Cognitive dissonance.
So
they're not space invaders. There's these incredibly omniscient, hyper advanced beings from another dimension. That's what they are. I've seen them manifest.
And if most people truly knew that, about the phenomenon, there wouldn't be all the association of fear and, all that stuff. So,
well, that's why they're telling, in my humble opinion, and knowing a lot of these heavy players in the whole disclosure game or whatever, in my opinion, the whole reason they're coming up with this alien story is just to keep people in a cycle of fear so that we don't progress our collective consciousness.
I mean, it doesn't seem like a stretch to believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be?
But that's just my 2 cents. Like, what if that were the case? I don't know. You want to do the next question?
What if we do the next one?
All right, what if?
It's your turn. Your turn, sir. All right, what we got?
What if MK Ultra is real?
Whoa, that's hardcore.
That was Alex's question.
What if MK Ultra is real?
It definitely is real. There's some genuine historicity behind it. Like I had to study it in college because I have a psychology degree, and I believe in the 1960s is when it went on. And the official version is that the CIA experimented with mind control. Again, this is the official
using like LSD,
other kinds of things.
I mean, this has been declassified.
It's declassified.
Yeah,
but in the spirit of this question, what Alex is getting at is like, what if MK Ultra is like still going on? Like in Hollywood,
still being
like
used.
Like Kanye West or Britney Spears, like having these episodes and like shaving their head. It's like, what if they're MK Ultra victims? I don't know. I think that's really cool to think about.
Yeah.
And I kind of said this in episode 4, and this is going to be like a fringe comment, whatever. I kind of think there's a sincere possibility MK Ultra has appeared in my life. With spies and things telling me since I was a child that I would be tapped and spied on, and we could be arrested if we said certain things. I'm not going to get all into the negativity of that, but yeah, I 100% believe MK Ultra is real. There's a lot of references to it in film, like Zemo, dude, like the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's straight up. Yeah, that's a reference directly to MK Ultra. Yeah, there's tons of references everywhere about it.
There are some things that have happened to me in that regard that I don't know that I'll ever feel comfortable like sharing.
Sure, I mean, publicly. Yeah, understandably so.
But let's just say there are some very weird things that happen with high levels of the clandestine industry, so to speak.
Yeah,
just weird things. You might get a gift in the mail that's something really weird that you didn't expect, and it has some significance behind it.
Yeah,
and that has happened to me and my father. But anyway, so what do you think about MK Ultra?
I think that it can show up in many forms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that I think the general thought that people have about MK Ultra is that it's like you said with Zemo. It's like, you know, waterboarding and like hypnosis and torture and like I'm gonna say this phrase of words and it's gonna be like a sleeper cell thing, which a lot of that, you know,
I think that's real.
yeah, I think so. I think that stuff is real too, but I think that's not the only form of MK Ultra. I think that MK Ultra is a more broad term that kind of just means like mind control. Like you can control somebody's mind via manipulation, like just very simple neuro-linguistic programming. Like those the news. Exactly. Those are all, I believe those are all forms of MK Ultra. And so if the question that we're pondering here is it still happening? Yeah, I think not only is it still happening, I think it's happening everywhere.
Well,
like
again,
on a large scale.
This is one of my fringe beliefs, but you know, whatever. What if? Just like ponder it. I believe that the whole fake alien story, like that it's just space invaders, like what we have thus far, that it's just space invaders, or that they have this like, you know, just like the version we're getting, reptilians, all that stuff.
Right.
I believe that is MK Ultra. I believe that's global indoctrination to create a false religion to fear aliens, like kind of like as gods. But again, they're not that. They're just interdimensional beings that are above us on like the levels of consciousness, and they appear throughout time to teach us how to advance our consciousness. They're not like these evil gods like they want us to believe in the movies and stuff.
But they, you know, I think they've done a great job at making the majority of people, well, I don't know about the majority, but making quite a few people believe that.
Oh yeah, because it's MK Ultra. I believe that stuff is MK Ultra.
All right.
I believe the news is MK Ultra. Oh, bro, the audience should Google this one.
Okay.
There is another project that was associated with that one called MK Often.
What?
It was where they did mind control techniques through the use of ritual black magic.
No.
Yep. And then you look into like Los Alamos and psychotronic weapons, psychotronic warfare, and the use of black magic for that stuff. Now, here's a shocker. I know the guy that ran Los Alamos.
What?
Yep.
You just give me a look like, yep, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, some like real mind control stuff. So I'm just going to say, I really believe there is something to mind control.
Yeah, I think so too. And so, good one, Alex.
Good one, Alex. All right, next question.
Next one. All right. Jenny, I can't promise I'm going to pick yours, okay? I don't know. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. What if advanced AI was among us?
Oh, that was my question.
All right.
So
cool.
you take it away. You take it away.
What if advanced AI? Well, okay. So I think AI shows up in many different forms. Of course, there's different degrees. Dude, that's crazy. There was just a huge artificial intelligence conference, and Tesla unveiled its like robot, which was terrifying, by the way. Did you see that Will Smith shared it? He shared it on his Instagram with a picture from iRobot.
He's also a Scientologist, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's myth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
So, okay. What if advanced AI was already among us?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So when I think of advanced AI, I think of AI that is either already developed to the degree that it's like a human mind. It's capable of thought at that kind of level or beyond that. And if it currently existed, it would be devastating and horrifying. I think it would either be subtly manipulating us through every
social media,
through every piece of technology on the planet, through every internet platform, every way that we interact with technology. It would be manipulating us. It would be guiding us and making us do exactly what it wants us to do. It would kind of like have us on a path, you know? So it would either be that, or it would be like the Rocco's basilisk thing. Like it would be hunting and killing us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if it currently existed, it's more likely to be the first one, like a more like subtle, you know, large scale manipulation of thought.
Dude, I think if AI really was advanced, like as you know in the movies, and it was among us right now, I think it would be using bot accounts on social media to steer narratives on forums like Reddit, Twitter,
Ooh.
Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Bro,
That's
I'm
manipulation.
telling you. I get a lot of accounts on Twitter that are formed that month with no followers, and they troll me. A lot of them do.
Oh, so
you're
saying that you think that
There's
that
bot
right
accounts.
there is probably
And you read other like I guess you could say influencers and like the conspiracy world or whatever, and they're all on the same thing. Like it's this concept that there are bot accounts. Dude, I've seen screenshots of accounts, separate accounts on Reddit, all posting the same exact comment. It's like there's this narrative that these bot accounts are popping up all over the world, and they're just parroting the same things about certain narratives.
that would literally be like a perfect example of what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Of like a mass manipulation of technology in the internet. So you think you think it's a possibility that these like bot accounts just show up?
I don't think it's a possibility. Personally, I believe it's happening right now.
Like
I believe
these accounts just show up and
yes.
wow.
Personal anecdote.
We do have to make an errata real quick. Will Smith is not a Scientologist.
He's not?
No, I guess they like maybe Jada. There's like some unconfirmed claims that maybe Jada like dabbled with it at one time, maybe, but it's not a legit claim. So.
Oh, okay. There we go. We looked it up.
Yeah.
He does do a lot of space movies though. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Men in Black?
I haven't seen like his last couple of movies, but talk about a legend, man. Like,
yeah, I love Will Smith.
Dude,
He's
Fresh
one of my
Prince of
favorite
Bel-Air is iconic. Fresh Prince is one of the best sitcoms of all time. And then like all of his movies, dude, I Am Legend.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Dude, The Wild Wild West. I'm just kidding.
What's that? I love that movie.
No, I do
Bad
too, but
Boys.
it sucks. Bad Boys is good.
What's the other? Oh, Independence Day.
Yes, dude.
Dude, I mean, the guy is amazing.
There was the concept that Hollywood really is just this big like MK Ultra thing where they're telling certain narratives, Will Smith would be one of the space guys.
He's the poster boy.
He's one of the alien space guys. Yeah, like that would be if this were true. Like what
I never
if?
saw that new. He has that one like it's called like Gemini Man or something.
Yeah, that's the one where he like fights his twin, and then he has the one with Jaden Smith that was like a critical flop. You know, he was with his son, and they
well, they're on another planet.
Yeah, and like the whole thing is like these aliens like sniff your fear. That's a cool concept.
It is. It's cool.
It's a cool concept, but apparently the movie was a flop.
It's kind of like that. What's it called? Quiet Place.
It's kind of like Jeepers Creepers.
It is kind of like Jeepers Creepers.
Sniff your fear. What did we say in one of the most recent episodes? I tweeted it yesterday. Negative entities attached to you through fear.
That's literally like what that movie's about.
That's
basically.
true. The lady told that to my dad too. I was reading the regression yesterday. Remember?
Yeah.
To like take notes and stuff, and that's what it said: is that through your fear, these negative parasites can latch onto your soul.
Quick question, quick side note on the AI thing before we move on to the next one. What's your favorite like pop culture reference of AI?
Terminator.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's such a good one.
Because the machines are not the real threat. The real threat is the mind. It's Cyberman.
You know what mine is?
What?
Ultron.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought you were going to say 2001. I like Jarvis.
Dang it. Oh, by the way, I wanna make an errata to a previous statement. I said at one point that Lord of the Rings: Two Towers is my favorite movie. While that is my favorite franchise, I think my favorite single movie is 2001: Space Odyssey. So killer.
That's The Matrix.
It's so oh, yours is the Matrix.
Single favorite movie,
worthy.
not franchise, but like a single movie.
That's worthy.
Dang, I was gonna say. Oh, personal anecdote. Okay. One of my friends in the CIA, told me that there is a supercomputer in Utah that they have codenamed the Beast. It belongs to the NSA, and he told me that this computer was so intelligent that he was concerned that it would become sentient.
Ooh.
And like basically like inject itself into the internet and take over.
It's game over at that
And it's
point.
like, why would he tell me that? I don't know. Was he messing with me?
Who knows?
Was he leading me? I don't know.
Who knows? But hey, we're here pondering, and that would be wild if that was legit.
It would be wild. Is it my turn to do it?
It's your turn.
All right,
let's do the next one. What if? What if?
Oh, this is my question. Should we still do it?
Let's do another one. Let's do a different one.
Let's just do it.
Okay.
What if time travel is real?
Okay, I actually really love this topic, so you take this one first.
Okay, well, the reason I asked this question is because I wanted to go into a personal anecdote. So there was this guy who had interacted with us. His name is Timothy Taylor. He's just a guy in the Department of Defense, and he came and he there's a book out there about him called American Cosmic, and he told us some really cool stuff. But one of the things he implied was that time travel was real.
Wow.
So he did this thing where he was writing these like emails to my father, and they were kind of like in code. And they were like stories, but the stories were about him, and he gave himself like this character name and everything. And one of the things he insinuated was that he had joined this elite group of scientists run by T. Townsend Brown, who was a real man that Doc from Back to the Future is based on.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's called the Nassau Group. And anyway, he had indicated to us, he implied, he very much implied, so it's like we could take it with a grain of salt.
Sure.
But he implied to my father that they had time travel technology.
Okay, hang on. So he just like dropped that nugget of wisdom and then didn't elaborate at all?
Through email.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually something I've thought quite a bit about, because while I consider myself having a very imaginative mind, there is also like a basis of logic in my mind that like is constantly trying to doubt things and sow doubt into everything that I think. So I've thought quite a bit about time travel, and like the logistics of it are just, first of all, terrifying, because if you change one tiny little, the butterfly effect, if you could time travel and accidentally kick a rock and change the entire course of history.
Yeah.
So, what I think about time travel is, if it existed, we would be constantly seeing time travelers everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, or they'd be hiding themselves, of course. But I think that at very minimum, our civilization that we're currently living in would be catapulted like hundreds, if not thousands of years in terms of technology into the future. But I'm really looking forward to what you have to say about it.
Okay, but here's my thing, just to kind of go along with that.
Mm-hmm.
What if the time travelers are coming from a future so technologically advanced they understand the implications of the butterfly effect, so they have rules when they show up here, like we can't alter the timeline. So the public doesn't know about it, but maybe like the Pentagon people, maybe they're greeting time travelers and we'll never know about it.
That's entirely possible. I don't think you have watched Loki yet.
No, I haven't.
Well, spoiler alert, and spoiler alert for you, Ryan. This isn't like a spoiler. They literally show it in the first episode, but that show deals largely with time travel. I mean,
sick.
That's what the show...
It's like the multiverse, right?
Literally, it's all... The entire show is about the multiverse and the timeline. There's this like concept in the show that there are these beings called the timekeepers, and they basically take all universes, all in the multiverse, and all timelines, and merge them into one, so that there can only be one continuum. There's only one timeline. There's only one universe. There's only one thing. That's their entire purpose, is to make all of everything one, because otherwise there would be like utter and complete chaos. They're called the TVA. It's like the time variant association, just something. I forget what it's called. I have a horrible memory, but yeah, it's literally what you're saying. It's like
we should watch Tenet and talk about it on the podcast. That new Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh, I heard it's amazing.
It's about time travel
with Denzel Washington's son.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I haven't seen it either, but
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he's the best, and so his son is incredible too. That movie Black Klansman is so good. I think it's a Spike Lee movie, so good. But yes, I agree. Like if time travel was real, it would be one of those two scenarios. We would be living in kind of like this weird, timeless technological utopia where time is like not even really important because there's time travel, and so it's like this weird, or it would be what you're talking about. There would be an organization dedicated to
like maintaining the secrecy, like there is about the UFO stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorite representations of time travel in film is the new Snyder Cut Justice League, when at the very end the Flash, like this is definitely a spoiler alert about the Snyder Cut. At the end, the Flash has to like rewrite the timeline, and he starts to go so fast that he's merging with the Speed Force. Did you see that scene?
Yeah, I watched it.
And basically, like, he's running, and then he starts speaking. He says, change the past, change the future. But I think there's some real esoteric stuff behind that. Zack Snyder is known to hide really deep concepts in his films.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Like, for example, there's a scene when Wonder Woman is standing on a statue of, like, Mithra or something. Like I don't know, really cool symbolism type stuff there.
Yeah, well, Wonder Woman as a character is very like involved with mythology and occult symbolism and crazy
magic
stuff like
and
that.
whatnot.
Yeah,
but it was really cool when the Flash was running so fast that he was going to merge with the Speed Force. One of the things the character was saying was change the past. It's like rewrite the past, rewrite the future, or something. Be here now, Barry.
Oh,
Be here
right,
now.
exactly. Yes,
And,
I remember that.
But think about that, dude. Be here now.
Be here now.
I think that's some mystical stuff, man. Like if it's the Philosopher's Stone, it's back to the Philosopher's Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in this present moment, while we are recording, we could change our past. You can, because you can change your perception of it and make peace with it. Someone could have bullied you when you were a kid, and it sucks, and that's traumatic. But you could turn 35 years old and suddenly realize, you know what? That was a positive experience in my life that impacted me down a journey of growth,
or you learned an important lesson.
You can
from
transmute
it,
and you just changed the past.
Yeah.
But by doing that, when you transmute the present and how you perceive and feel and think about things, if you can transmute your thoughts and your feelings from a negative to a positive, you're changing the past and the future. Because now you're going to have more positive habits.
Yeah.
And you're going to go and you're going to make more positive choices, and you're going to have a more positive future. That's manifestation.
Love that.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea. We got about 15 minutes left here. Let's
Are you serious?
Let's speed round. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is so much fun.
I thought it'd been like 15, 20 minutes.
No, this has been so much fun. Let's speed round a few of these.
Speed round, but what if they're really good? Okay, whatever. Just do it.
If they're really, really good,
just do it.
Then we'll talk about them as much as we
Okay.
need.
Well, if we're vibing, where's my tetrahedron? Where is it? Okay, it's right there. If we're really vibrant, if we're vibing and the tetrahedron, speaks to us, we'll just.
What, dude? What? Somebody put a meme. By the way, somebody put a meme on Twitter.
I saw it. It was White Mojo.
It was like Ryan on episode 4, and it said, "I do as the crystal commands." It was like a Rick and Morty meme.
Are we gonna talk about one of the multidimensional elephants in the room, dude? I forgot to make a crystal joke on episode 6. I'm pissed. From the start, I was like, I'm gonna make a crystal joke in every episode, and I forgot 6 episodes in. So this is episode 7, and I have to compensate. This is a crystal joke.
Make it abundantly clear. You have to make 2 crystal jokes.
I have to make 2
in this episode to make.
All right, let me make it crystal clear. I had intended from the start to as a personal
that
goal.
Counts.
Because why? Because why? I do these things. I try to make fun of things because it in a way it's like that trickster archetype. You're just destroying stigma.
Yeah, Ryan makes crystal jokes and makes fun of it, but Ryan has like a ton of crystals.
I have like 6 crystals.
Yeah, and like
it's like, dude.
Yeah.
Here's some like CIA propaganda type stuff. Whatever gets mocked the most is probably a thread that you should pull, because there's stigma. Whatever is really mocked. Think about it, man. My family's been mocked for many years, but like the stuff we experience is real.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's why I have
some of the most real stuff.
Crystal dream catcher.
Yeah, okay, Ryan. Literally making fun of crystals and people who use crystals. Ryan has a crystal dream catcher.
No, I'm doing it because it's like I'm just trying to break down the stigma. Because here's the reality. Sacred geometry, we talked about that. You get into energy, frequency, and vibration. Then you get into studying Marcel Vogel. M-A-R...
Is that a person?
Yes. M-A-R-C-E-L V-O-G-E-L. I would highly Google him. He was this insane... Not insane. I don't mean insane as in crazy. That's just like some of the slang I use. Like, yo, that's insane. He was this insanely smart super genius who was having these seriously like occult downloads with science, and he started getting into crystals and like the energetic properties behind them, and he pretty much developed a lot of technologies we use today through exploring quartz crystals from a dream he had, dude.
Whoa.
So then when
there's that tuned in thing. There's the tuned in thing.
Dude.
Like it's like a transmission. You're like receiving a transmission.
It's a frequency. It's like your consciousness is like a radio station. Actually, Tim Taylor told my dad this, dude, that our consciousness is like an antenna, and when you turn into that certain frequency, you get downloads. Dude, he told my father that super geniuses throughout the past, they get their breakthroughs through downloads.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's connected to this phenomenon, whether you see it or not. There's one true phenomenon.
It's so wild, man.
It's just, you got to understand, audience, please understand. Like, what if there really was a group of people at the top of society, kind of like the priestly class, who are ultra rich, and they had serious motivation for maintaining power and secrecy behind their technologies and things like that. They wouldn't want us to know that it's beings of light.
Of course they wouldn't. Yeah.
They wouldn't want us to know that our consciousness can evolve. Anyway, let's make this a tangent.
Okay. Let's try to lightning round a few of these. Okay. What do we got? Okay. Oh, wow, this is cool. What if Jeremy,
oh my God,
your older brother Jeremy, what if Jeremy was contacted instead of Chris, instead of your dad?
Like on the original night?
That night at the river. What if that was Jeremy's experience instead of your dad's?
Wow.
What if it was you?
Yeah, like what if it was me? Well, Jeremy has had his fair share of experience.
You know what Jeremy would do? Jeremy would have, instead of coming back and like being excited and telling the story, Jeremy would just like really flippantly be like, yeah, I saw aliens.
Like, that's how he told you.
That's
remember?
how he told me about the aliens.
Yeah, we told that in episode 0. He was like aliens.
Yeah, dogs barking outside, and I was like, what is that? He's like, probably aliens. Like,
I can tell you, dude, I remember being 13 years old. I remember getting off the bus and...
Sorry.
I remember getting off the bus and, hearing it from Chris Jr. and Dad for the first time. And they were so excited. But it was very terrifying because it was like, what's going on? But yeah, I don't know if it was Jeremy. I mean, he was 14.
If it was Jeremy, he definitely would have made it like some flippant.
Yeah.
Love you, Jeremy. You're the best.
And I just remember Chris explaining it to me, dude. He was 17. I was 13. There's definitely an age gap between some of us kids. Like my sister's 3 years younger than me. She's like 7 years younger than Chris Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a bit of a little... You want to move on?
Yeah, it's your turn. Lightning round.
All right. I'll tell the story later.
Next one. What if pulling out of the jar?
Oh my God, it's another one of mine, dude.
Do it. Let's go.
What if astrology is real?
Dude, okay. That's something that I think our entire group has been really into lately. Our entire team. It's
sick.
Yeah, and particularly my wife Casey's super into trying to learn about it right now. We've all gotten readings from multiple different people. It's astonishing.
Nick Hinton hooked me up with a super gifted astrologer. She's anonymous. They're kind of working on making her a Twitter account so she can do readings for people, but she does not want her name out in the public.
Sure, yeah.
Just some people respect their privacy.
That's how you know it's really her passion.
but she's what she does on the side, or it might be her job. I'm not sure. I could ask her, but she solves crimes with astrology. She's helped people find murder victims, dead bodies and stuff. She's very gifted, and her astrology reading of us. So just for the audience, so they can be in on the story. This lady I've been in contact with, I had requested her to do an astrology reading for every one of us on the podcast team and for the podcast. And it was so crazy.
An astrology reading for the podcast itself.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go into what it said and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that really catapulted me into thinking about astrology. Oh my God, what if there really is something to it?
Let's follow this real quick and then we'll move on because it's lightning round. If all of the things that we've been pondering about planets, vibrations, frequencies, if all of that stuff is true and these planets give off these frequencies and these waves and our bodies are affected by these frequencies and these waves, then why would it not be true that at the moment of our birth, our emergence into this world, the position of all of those planets would affect
your energy,
yourself as a person?
Yeah, it has
why
these
would that not be true?
Archetypal imprints on your soul.
Yeah, so it's
just a cosmic clock, dude. It's a bro.
That's a good way to put it.
In 2001, every time it showed a new monolith, the monolith would point towards the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, dude.
Yeah, spoiler alert, guys. Ryan finally watched 2001.
Oh my God, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, next one.
Hold on, a little bit more about it. I didn't get to give my part on astrology.
Okay, whatever. I guess we'll hear from you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think astrology could be real because it's just like a cosmic clock, right? Exactly what you said. But it's I don't know, man. I think, what if the stars were more like realms and they weren't just balls of gas? And what if consciousness really was fractal? This entity, this lady entity told my father, and she said the blade of grass has consciousness. Everything has a consciousness. Well, what if the stars had a consciousness? What if the planets were living beings and the stars were living beings? It makes sense, right? If consciousness is fractal, if the grass has a blade of consciousness,
then a planet does.
And if the human race has a collective consciousness, that might be the soul of the planet. And then all the planets in the solar system, their collective consciousness might be the sun or the stars. Now, my personal fringe belief is the stars might be different levels of consciousness. So it would
Wow.
make sense that when we're born here in this realm, those different levels of consciousness, when they're dancing in the cosmos in a certain way and they're aligned at a certain position, that archetypal energy would imprint on our consciousness on an individual level.
Yeah, for the record, I fully believe it. I fully
I do. Why not,
believe it.
dude? I've seen beings of light. Why can't astrology be real?
And I will say for the majority of my life, I didn't until I started, first of all, having my own readings. And then, like Casey's readings, and they're all just so spot on. So, like, I personally really believe it.
Next question.
All right. What if our souls are recycled? That's a really cool one. That's a really, really cool one.
You want to start with that one?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the concept of reincarnation, right?
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
So, it's actually really funny because last night or the night before, me and Ryan were talking, just kind of like just talking, basically doing what we're doing right now, just pondering. And we were talking about the whole concept of a quote unquote old soul. And how, like I've been called an old soul my whole life. I think Ryan has, and the majority of my life, I'm thinking like, oh, an old soul, that must mean that like I remind them of an old person or something. I have old man energy. Like I have old person like vibes or whatever. But like now, the more that I learn about this stuff, especially in regards to reincarnation and the soul, fractal consciousness and that, I think it's just a soul that has been around for a long
Many
time.
lives.
Yeah,
Like you've lived a lot of
many lives.
And just to add to that, I definitely think there are people who are born, and it's not anything that is, I'm not making a judgmental comment. I'm just pondering.
Yeah.
I think there are many souls who may have been born who haven't lived as many lives. You notice there's people out there who live very simple lives, go to work, go home, go to work, go home, and like they just might play video games all day or just be on the internet, but there's not really much like color to their life.
Sure, yeah.
Well, maybe their purpose was to live that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this weird? Like, is this out of the box?
No, this is stuff that's been pondered for hundreds of thousands of years, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I don't want to come off as like mean towards anybody, but
oh my gosh,
I do think there are souls whose purpose was to live here and have a more simple experience. They might be a younger soul,
exactly,
and then there are people like
their soul just hasn't learned as much yet. It hasn't experienced enough to have like lessons going forward. Because, dude, think about this. Think about all the accounts there are of children that are born and like have memories from past lives.
Oh yeah.
Like, detailed memories of past lives.
Bro, I've had a past life regression.
That can be confirmed. Like, they look up the history of these people. Not only are they real people, but these kids somehow know all this information about these people.
They'll have like birthmarks and stuff. Like about how the previous person died. There's documentaries about this.
We should watch some.
We should watch Cloud Atlas and talk about it on the podcast.
Want to do the next one?
Yeah.
Do it. Next, what if? What if?
I totally believe in reincarnation, but y'all know that. It's my question again.
Ryan keeps getting his own
I keep getting my own questions. Let's skip it.
Okay, yeah,
I don't want to do my own again. It's not. I want to be surprised by one of y'all's questions.
You got
this
one? Okay.
All right. This seems like a Casey one. Oh, y'all had the same idea. What if the gods on old religions were real, like Greek myth, and Nordic culture? Yeah, that's Nick's wife's question. Should we?
We'll skip it.
Should we skip it?
Yeah, we'll skip it. We'll do another one.
Yeah. Here, let me draw another one.
Okay.
Give me that. What if house pets are the tools to the biggest spy program ever? Dude, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh.
and then it says in parentheses, walking cameras. Is that Jenny? That was my fiance.
Oh my god.
So Nick's fiance, wife. So Nick's wife said something about like the gods and the myths. My fiance said, "What if our cats had cameras?"
That would explain why they're so weird.
Yeah, they're very weird. They're very.
That would explain why cats.
I don't know.
So
I mean,
weird.
what if? Oh, there's an internet meme about like birds are not real. They're tools.
Oh yeah. What is it? That one video that's like the birds belong to the bourgeoisie or something like that. Yeah.
And then they're all like, there's not a real bird on the planet. It's obviously not true, but
right.
It's a very funny meme.
And then there's that whole. You watch Black Mirror?
I've seen probably like 4 episodes.
There's an episode where I think this is an idea that a lot of people have probably wondered about before. But like, what if you could play back your memories
Oh, yeah.
So basically, a lot of the ideas in Black Mirror are functioning off of the premise that like human beings have a chip installed in them when they're born, and then it allows them to like interface and do different, kind of like the Neuralink thing that Elon Musk is developing. But yeah, so there's an episode about like, what if you could replay your memories and stuff, and it ends up like it never really shines light on this. By the way, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. It never really shines light on this until the end of the episode, but like they're trying to solve a crime and they're like, oh man, if only we had somebody like we could replay their memories, and they look over and there's a guinea pig and they're like, oh, there we go. And they did. And they got the memories from the guinea pig, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like in that world, literally every living being has like a chip installed, and they can download what the animal is seeing.
I'm pretty sure there was a Robin Williams movie like that, dude.
Really?
It might have been Robin Williams. There was a movie. I watched it when I was a kid, and it was. I'll find out the movie, but it's like the concept. Everybody has a chip in their brain, and it records their whole life, and it's a really good movie, dude, because it kind of goes into the concept of how we can have false memories. Like he had this accident when he was a kid with another kid, and he like fell to his death, and he grew up beating himself up over it, like he bullied the kid and caused him to do it.
Oh my
and he
gosh.
goes through this like turmoil, and he finds this like kind of black market thing where he has this procedure where while he's alive, they access the tape from like the chip in his brain, and he watches it back, and he realizes like he was trying to help the kid.
Oh, wow.
It's a cool movie. I'm just not sure if it was Robin Williams. I saw this when I was like 8, dude. I just remember it very vividly.
We should figure out what that movie's called
watch it
and check it out.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I'll have to check that out.
I'll have to check it out.
Should we do one more?
Yeah, why not?
We're at about an hour. Let's do one more. All right, ready? Here we go. Ready? What if folklore has been changed so we think they're just stories? Ooh, man.
I think the Bible's been changed for sure. I mean, you go into the council of, and we could argue that just because there's, a large majority of the world believes the Bible and believes like Islam and believes Hinduism and, the Judaic faith, we could still argue that they're folklore, these are college, like I got my minor in religion, and these are the kind of conversations you have. Like, it's all mythology. Forget about don't be offended if you believe it's real or not. We're just pondering here. It's all mythology.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
There's fact to the notion that the Bible was altered.
Absolutely.
By like the Vatican and like certain kings, like I think it was King Henry VIII.
Well, even just without even getting into the history, I mean, we can, but like there's just like, you can go to the store right now and buy different versions of the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like the King James version, all these different versions. So,
but as far as folklore,
but yeah, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, like there was a lot of things that were taken out.
Obviously, the Gnostic texts.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, back to the mass manipulation from some of these organizations that these interested parties, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. Like if that is something that they're focusing on and they're actively doing, like mass manipulation, then yeah, why wouldn't they be altering folklore like to influence us further?
Yeah. I never really thought about that. I mean, I can't necessarily think of examples of it other than like the big face, like the Bible. I mean, I know there's a lot of context how that was manipulated.
So maybe we do one more then?
One more? Sure.
All right. Last one for sure.
We're gonna run out.
Then guys, seriously, we're going to make a post on Twitter. It's going to be like a what if post on Twitter. We're going to pin it to Ryan's Twitter page, right?
Yeah. And we'll pin it to yours too.
Yeah, we'll pin it. And then...
What is your Twitter, by the way?
I think it's just Firminitas Nick. It's hard to spell.
Firminitas Nick.
It's kind of hard to spell, but I'm always interacting with Ryan's posts. So if you go in there and you see some goofy guy named Nick with like a pink hat on, it's me. but yeah, we'll have those posts pinned by the time this episode comes out. Go there and comment your what if. And we'll look through them and we'll put them in the jar for next time. So we're going to do one last one.
This last one, we did touch it on another question.
Should we do a different one?
And it's one of my questions.
Oh, okay.
You draw my own question.
Okay.
What if we really changed our realities with positive thoughts and positive words? And we did talk about that on like the Philosopher's Stone thing, but that's, again, let's just reiterate it. I firmly believe that through positive thinking, positive mindset, positive... let's boil it down. Zoroaster. I believe one of the most important things ever spoken by any human ever was good thoughts, good words, good deeds. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Good thoughts,
good words,
good
deeds.
words, good deeds.
You will change your life.
That's the key to being a good person and influencing your surroundings.
Or it's like what Jiminy Cricket said, let your conscience be your guide, dude. Now, everybody has a conscience unless you're like a psychopath and you know. No, I'm not even making a joke. Like,
no, it's true. It's
that's
true.
scientifically
That's actually a trait.
Like, psychopaths do not have a conscience.
Right.
But everyone else has a conscience. And I firmly believe when you follow your conscience, like, remember what we talked about with Jiminy Spirit, or excuse me, Jiminy Spirit. I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's a different movie.
I've had a lot of espresso, bro. Jiminy Cricket, being a nature spirit, and he's teaching you, let your conscience be your guide, but he's also teaching you, like, Wish Upon a Star, or the Star Sirius. There's a lot of occult symbolism behind the Star Sirius and the Masons, and anyway, I think your conscience is very important for the journey of the soul. And when you have, like, if you see somebody struggling and your conscience says, like, maybe I should give him a ride, maybe I should give him $5. If you do that, if you follow your conscience, I believe that is the mechanism through which you can make transformation happen in your life. Like, you will actually transmute your soul. I believe it's like paying off energy debts. Like, it's karma, bro. Like,
paying off karma.
Yeah, like, I believe when your conscience tugs you to do something, that's paying off negative energy.
It's like your conscience
you're
is way
paying
of
towards the balance.
Yeah, it's like its way of saying, like, hey, here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. Let's get some of this karma. Let's get some of this good karma going.
And I have a really heavy conscience. That's actually why I wanted to do the podcast in the first place, because I felt like, you know,
it would help you clear your conscience.
It would help me clear my conscience, because there's a lot of things that I've been privy to and witnessed and seen and experienced that I believe the world deserves to know, and they're not hearing it, you know, basically from anywhere else. But again, like, I believe if you follow your conscience and you help people and you just do the right thing, good thoughts, good words, good deeds, you will change your life. You will magically change your life.
And that's what we're here to do, and we're here to share with you guys, and we can't thank you enough for being here along with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. We're going to end it there. We'll see you next time.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house. See it hovering, but it's descending.